Marvel Rivals' new PvE mode, Marvel Zombies, turned out to be a huge success, and people online play it left and right. But there is one thing that makes this mode almost like a real hell on earth. Its hardest difficulty, Nightmare 4. Yeah, this mode drove me crazy too. I played through all of the other difficulties with my trusted hero Punisher, and it was a breeze. Until I hit Nightmare 4 and I could not do anything anymore. I got overrun every few minutes just like an NPC in The Walking Dead, taking my runs not only 5 minutes before the inevitable defeat. Until I met a random stranger who was a god on Blade, having 10 times more damage than the rest of the team combined, and so naturally I asked him, "Are you Guang Guang himself?"
Hello everyone, Guang Guang here.
And his shocking response was, "No, I just know how to play Blade." He told me his secrets, and even I, a person who barely played him until now, made it shortly after into the rank 24 of the Marvel Zombies Leaderboard. Sadly, as of now, this went up a bit, but that's not the point, because since a lot of you guys asked for a more detailed strategy guide after watching my short, and now I'm here to deliver on that promise. So grab one of your favorite snacks and your Demon Slayer sword, because it's now time to fight that bitch in the red dress to claim the title Queen Slayer, which is rightfully yours. To kick things off with the basics, here are again the only cards you pick as Blade. Sword damage, always. Sword speed and range, until I feel like I have enough of both. You want to feel like you can snipe enemies from the end of the map while looking like this guy. Enhanced dash, but after you're able to do a full slash just in time when the cooldown is up again, you stop. Blue Ank. Some say 1 is enough, I feel more comfortable with 2 or 3, but that's just preference I guess. Damage up, always. Damage received, always. Full Moon, always. Except for the last round, because there it's useless. And health up. I'd never take anything below 180, but the way I do it is to simply always pick up the 540 HP when it comes up. And when I notice that I'm still not having around 10k health, around the 17th or 18th wave, I get the 180s too. Don't take any of the lifesteal cards because you always play with your E ability anyways. And if you play it right, you only die from dumb one-shots or from stuns. If you slash enemies and take a little bit of distance to the zombies, you will always be fine. But what should my team pick, I hear you ask? Well, this might be the most controversial part of this video. I personally feel like you can win this mode in any constellation. I mean, me and the duo friend even won a round with Jeff. Not that this guy played bad, no hate towards him, but I think we can all agree here that there are better choices. For Magic, I've never played her, but it felt like every time there was one in my team, she highly underperformed compared to the Blades. But again, just my experience. You might be the biggest Magic king in history of mankind. Punisher, I played him myself in the beginning of the mode, but in Nightmare 4 I just could not survive. And lastly, Thor is great to juggle the squishies, giving your team a little breather every few seconds. The more I play this mode, I feel like 4 blades are the way to go. But yet again, my personal experience might be different from yours. I can only try to explain to you guys how I beat the mode myself countless times. Before I explain what to do during the waves, there is something you need to know about the spin attack first. Yes, it looks super flashy killing enemies with it across the map, but there are times where you want to use the spin and there are times where you absolutely don't want to use the spin. You want to have some range first and at least 2 or 3 cards put into the enhanced spin so that it lasts longer. You do not, I repeat, you do not want to dash into the giants and the burning zombies. Those won't always kill you if you dash them, but trust me, it will happen most of the time. I always dash to a normal zombie where no giant or burning one is in sight, and then I slash the rest with range, like a hot knife through butter. Or I just use the regular attack, which is also insanely good. And by the way, the Ank is so that enemies will be pulled towards the Ank, which not only keeps them further away from you, again, you do not want to be in their face, and they get pulled together for your attacks. When you always want to use it is against bosses. They get shredded into oblivion with the spin. So now the strategies for the waves. They're explained pretty fast. The first one should be a breeze. Nothing special, no green or burning enemies, just some normal ones and some giants, which also feel like having way less health than the later ones. The second wave starts spawning these green acid zombies, which again shouldn't be a big problem. Sure, they spit on the ground, but as long as you have your E ability up and you hit enemies, you should be fine. You should not sit in it for the next 5 minutes, like it's a campfire, but if you stand in it for 2 or 3 seconds while attacking enemies, you stay alive. You just have to walk out of it rather sooner than later. Wave 3 adds these nasty burning zombies, and these are really some you don't want to color with. Keep your distance, do not dash with your slash into them because you will die otherwise. Same for the giants. Just keep your distance and slash them with your primary attack. But I think the best tip in order to survive these seemingly endless hordes is to never turn your back close to a spawn point, to never get surprised from one-shot enemies, and to never let them corner you. The other non-boss waves are completely the same strategy-wise, just with more enemy numbers and 2 more spawn points. One next to the boss, and one behind your spawn, which is a bit nefarious from Guangguang.
光光 here.
Okay, now to the part where tiny knife mains become to blade mains, the bosses. On wave 5 you have to face your first boss, Namor, and he shouldn't be really a big challenge. You focus his squids until he comes down, and as soon as he dares, he gets chopped into pieces by you and your team using the spin. You honestly fight longer against his tiny squids than against Namor himself. Halfway through on wave 10, the Scarlet Witch herself shows up. So I see a lot of people struggling with Wanda and her ability to stun people. I personally never had really a game-breaking stun like this dude, for example. Rest in peace, my little friend. But I usually tend to get out of it if she traps me. That's why I aim for a bit more health. At this point, however, if you truly pick the right cards, which are the ones above, you should be able to melt her easily. As soon as she gets to her barrier, that thing should not be up for longer than 10 seconds. And if you also picked up enough range so far, you can already slice her from a pretty distance, avoiding her stun bubbles. Just stay in motion during the fight and slash her from range. When she does her final attack, you can even play with one hand just using shift. Just watch out for those crystals she spawns. Destroy them to keep extending the yellow bar. Wanda and Namor, however, together are super annoying. I bet most of you focus Wanda first and do Namor afterwards, right? Well, that's wrong. Because you probably have already noticed that if you do that, you will have to fight 5 minutes against Namor's squids. And here comes the strat. You avoid Wanda completely. You ignore her. If I manage to do it with my small little brain and my slowpoke reaction time, you will too. You focus entirely on the squids and you do not use your spin attack here. You attack them with your primary attack. Try to avoid hitting Wanda as much as you can, because as soon as she's down, you will fight an eternity against the squids. And after Namor came down and gets sliced in 3 seconds, your team focuses Wanda. And now to the final boss fight. Not one, but 2 Wandas at the same time, and I can imagine that this seems to be scary. At least it was for me at the start. Hey, it wouldn't be a Halloween event if it wouldn't scare the shit out of you. But here comes the trick. If you upgraded your damage and range enough, you spam your spin attack into her. Again, with some distance. You dash towards her, and when your spin hits, you just go back a few meters so she's not hitting you with her stun bubbles. And if you're really smart, you position yourself in a way that you can hit both Wandas at the same time. It takes some practice, but sooner or later you will manage to achieve it. And that's it, the full breakdown of how I managed to beat this nerve-wracking mode consistently in the last days. Huge shout out to everyone who watched the short in this video and immediately started asking questions. Seriously, you guys are great. If it helped you out, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments how far you've made it in the Marvel Zombies mode. Of course, you can always ask questions in the comments and I will try to do my best to help you out. I ain't letting my subscribers down. Thanks for watching, good luck out there, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.